Hey guys, so I'm gonna read the second chapter of the same book that I'm supposed to read now. Like I said in the last one, you guys don't even have to do this video. Y'all do not have to do it. You don't have to watch. This is just for my grade and evidence that I actually read it, in case if my teacher doesn't believe me. But yeah, let's get right into it. Sorry, I'm kind of tired today. I was not in earlier. About the only good thing that. Oh, wait. No, you want a summary of what happened in the last video? There was a kid named Elijah and his friend Cooter trying to solve some mystery. Then another person decided to scare them and tell them a few lies. And I think it was Elijah's mother where she said to like, I don't know. But yeah, at first I was gonna hate her until she had like a pretty good prank after he pranked her with like, I think it was called like a spider or something. And and something about like a hoop snake. That yeah, it's been a while since I actually read this, but yeah. Turns out hoop snakes are real. And that it did look like this. But the future self is gonna put that in there. But other than that, let's get right into it. But the only good thing that came from my snake in the cookie jar lesson was there weren't no one else around to see it. Not even Cooter. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It wouldn't have been no time at all. It's that word of four again. I like it. Before everyone in the settlement known about known about what happened. And even if Cooter and me are best friends, and he wouldn't do nothing to on purpose make me look low, I knew that me running off from that snake like I done was such a good story that even a best friend couldn't have been blamed for letting it accidentally slip out. Pause. Especially a best friend like Cooter. I don't know what I just read. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, this is just for my grade and evidence that I actually read it, so. The whole adventure would just turn to another one. What is this? Well, I don't know if y'all can see that. Bro, it's like right here, right? That says N. I think that's apostrophe and an EM. I don't know how to. Bro, what are these words? Well, one of them things that would be stuck onto my name forever. And doggone it all, seems like what people enjoy sticking to your name permanent ain't never good things. They're always tragical. Hey, that's actually sounding true, because people do be doing that. I ain't the kind of person that complains for no reason, but I gotta say, I already got one tragedy tied up with my name, and that is so horrible that it wouldn't be one bit fair that I'd get another. Okay, that was page 1 of this chapter. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell y'all the chapter name. This chapter is called Me and Mr. Frederick Douglass. So this does take place in slavery. Okay. This is either slavery or segregation. I don't know. The tragedy that's so horrible put a scar on me that I'm gonna be carrying around till the day I die. Hey, you should have took that thing to the grave with you. You'd think grown folks would cry when they saw me, but that don't happen at all. Even Ma and Pa tried to act like it ain't all that noticeable, and that it ain't shamed to have folks see they're raising me, but I know better. Okay, what do you mean by that? Like I said, I don't know what I'm reading. Okay. It happened when I weren't nothing but a baby and I can't see why I'm to blame. But that's when the famousest, bro, I think they mean famous, smartest man who ever escaped from slaveryhood on a tall stage that had got built in the schoolhouse and raised me way up over his head in front of the crowd of people. From the way Pa tells it, the man must have had me 20 feet up in the air. He was giving me a speech when the accident happened, 'cause every time he made a point, he'd give me a little shake way there over top of his head. Seriously? Is that how tall Frederick Douglass? Wait, no. Is this? I think this is historical fiction. 'Cause ain't no way Frederick Douglass is that tall that he carry you over 20 feet in the air. Ain't no way. Ain't no way he's that tall to do that. I weren't even a year old back when Mr. Frederick Douglass and Mr. John Brown visited Buxton. Pa said all the settlement people had got excited and worked up something terrible about them coming and were dashing around trying to polish Buxton up, sort of like the way you rub the dirt off your Sunday shoes if you knew Mr. Travis was gonna give him a hard look. Hey, that's kind of me. It's kind of me when I go to church. Anywho, they rushed to get the new schoolhouse finished so there'd be a place big enough for the meeting. They made sure to picket fences in front of everyone's homes. Had got good slab of whitewash on them. First of all, what do you mean by white? I don't know what they mean by white. They made all kinds of food and such, and they even had a special blanket made out of sewed together flowers to go across Flapjack and Mole's backs so he could lead a parade. Okay, it's very nice of you, but I think you went a little too overboard with the flowers. Give them a suit. Give them a suit, please. All this fussing was going on because folks in Buxton were gonna celebrate 3 special people at this big meeting. Special person number 1 was Frederick Douglass, 'cause he used to be a slave, just like most of the folks here in Buxton. And now they say he can talk the bees out of flying to the flowers. Special person number 2 was Mr. John Brown, because folks say other than maybe Reverend King, the man who started Buxton, there weren't no white man ever made that was better than him. I don't appreciate all this spelling. Believe me, I don't. It says better, apostrophe N. What is better, apostrophe N? I don't like this spelling. And special person number 3 was me, cause it ain't something I ever boast on. But I was the very first child to be born free in Elgin settlement at Radcliffe, I don't know what this is, in Canada West, what we call Buxton. Yeah, I'd rather call it Buxton. Mrs. Guest, who's the best sewer and knitter in the settlement, had even gone in knitting some fancy clothes for me that Ma still keeps in a peculiar smelling box made out of cedarwood? I don't know what that says. I gotta work on my reading skills, y'all. Me and Ma have a pretty good disagreement about them clothes, cause to me they look a powerful lot like a girl's dress and bonnet. When I got ground enough to understand what it was, they paraded me round, and I was just as much shamed about the clothes they forced me to wear as I was about the accident twixt me and special person number 1. I have a question. Hold on now. By the way, this is what it looks like. If I'm not mistaken, that is a dude. Get this man a suit. Get this man some boy clothes. Do not make him wear that. Okay. Pa said everything was alright with the celebrating until the parade got to the schoolhouse and most of the speechifying was over. That's when Mr. Douglas came and took me from Ma, walked high up on the stage with me, and held me in the air over his head. Ain't no way you is that small. He just picked you up so effortlessly. I wonder how much work now he did to get free from slavery. Ma said she was worrying right off because Mr. Douglas is a excitable man when he gets talking, and he started bouncing me up and down. Pause. Bouncing me up and down and swinging me around with joy, saying I was a shining beacon of a light and hope for the future. That's something he would say, though. Man, I should know about Black history. I asked Ma what that meant, and she couldn't say. don't seem to me that getting called piece of meat off of a pig is anything that you should get excited about. But Mr. Douglas thought it was great and folks kept cheering and he kept tossing me up and down till the accident happened. Ma says even back then I was a fragile child and the more he tossed me, the more she was fretting. She said I was having a whole lot of fun. Then I smiled real big, and without no kind of warning at all, the accident happened. I throwed up everything. I'd got. Oh, yeah, he threw up. So that was the accident. I was like, wait, am I missing something? Like, what was the accident? No, he threw up everything. I'd get all over Mr. Douglas's beard and jacket. I learned from Ma that people who used to be slaves love prettying up any kind of story. She says talking is near the only thing they use to get to do without no white person telling them how or when. So they made the most out of it once they get the chance. She says they love making a summer day a lot hotter than it already was, or making rain or drought last a whole lot longer than they really did. And they especially love telling you how their great grandpa or grandma used to be the king or queen of Africa. Really? I had a king and queen? I didn't know that. I really didn't. Bad as my luck is, the people that live in Buxton ain't choose to pretty up the fact I'm most proud of myself for my rock chunking. What is a rock chunking? I don't know. Oh, there it is. They've prettified what happened twixt me and Mr. Frederick Douglass. Oh, that's good. They'll tell you I throwed up on Mr. Douglass for a whole half an hour before Ma came and snatched me away and pointed me out the schoolhouse window. Okay, that's actually a bit extreme. They say I near drowned the man. Some folks swear I throw up so hard that desks and chairs rose up and floated out of the schoolhouse. Mr. Polite said I throwed up so plentiful that no deers nor rabbits die in the woods for 5 years. 5 years after. He said the bears and wolves ate my vomit for that long since it was considerable easier for them to do that than to try to run down some animals that weren't looking to get it. That is disgusting. If you're eating right now, I am so sorry. I did not mean to do that to you. And that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense at all. Yeah, it really doesn't. First off, because they're always telling us how smart Mr. Frederick Douglass is, they tell us he can talk Greek like a Greek and Latin like a Latin. And anyone who's that smart ain't gonna sit and hold a baby over his head that I throw that turned up on him for no whole half an hour. I could understand it if he was surprised at first. Ain't no one gonna expect to get thrown up on by a baby boy in a girl's dress and bonnet. But if Mr. Douglas is near smart as folks say, seems to me he had the sense to aim me out of the window himself. What is it? Hey, that was actually more funny than the one the folks said. Oh, that seems to me if I really did throw up for a whole half an hour, only the first 5 minutes would have been on Mr. Douglas. The last 20 minutes would have had to be out that window. Nah, it's the first 5 seconds where you're gonna be out that window. It's gonna be the first 5 seconds you're out that window, bro. It also don't make no sense about the bears and wolves either, cause if they were coming into the settlement 3 times a day to eat what I thrown up, this would have been a mighty unsafe place. But didn't none of the ground folks act worried about sending their children off to do no chores? Gang, you're right. If it was that, bro, you gotta go. You gotta go really bad, bro. Like yourself, you actually gotta freaking die. Anywho, back when I was about 5 or 6, Ma told me to fetch a bucket and go into the woods behind our home and pick her some blueberries. Okay, not that bad. This is probably one of the reasons Ma thinks I'm a fragile boy. I remember soon she told me to go. I got all afraid and shakety. I said, by myself? She said, it ain't that far, Elijah. I'ma keep watch over you. Alright, let's see where that goes. But Ma, what about all those bears and wolves? What if I'm out there when they come for their supper? She smiled and said, Elijah, don't be silly. Ain't no wild creatures like that been seen around these parts since before you was born. I said, but Ma, how come everybody tells me about what I done to Mr. Douglas that got all the bears and wolves coming to the settlement looking for something to eat? She laughed and told me some of that ground folks talk. No, that's not grown folks. It's not ground folks. They're grown folks. Grown folks talk. Some of that talk that makes it so you ain't never sure about much of nothing. She said, son, you got one of them sets of mind what's gonna have you fretting about the littlest things. Life's gonna be a rough road to hoe for you if you don't learn. You can't be believing everything folks tell you, not even grown folks. Okay. 1 minute Ma, who's got a good head for thinking, tells me I got to respect everything that grown folks say, and the next minute she's wanting me to not believe some of the things that the same grown folks tell me. If if that don't leave you scratching your head, you got a better brain than me. Well, turns out I do got a better brain than you, because clearly, yeah. So, yeah, that was the whole chapter for this one. And this was like way shorter than what I normally, what the last one was. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach at least 100 subscribers. And yeah, I'm only at 32. So, bye-bye.